Joaquín Ortega y César Pizmón, Carlos Montas, Liliana Boa, Ricardo Colón, Hugo Pérez, María Taveras, Estelia Garrido, Johnny Colón y Marco Viñas. Yo le voy a dar entrada a ustedes ahora directamente al examen de Stoker y que acepten esa invitación y los jueces se van a acompañar en breve.
Una cosa. El link de YouTube, ¿dónde vamos a seguir?
En el canal de Dialéctica Argumentativa.
Entonces, un solo juez, como hemos dicho, para hablar, que está viendo Alana y la otra.
Ok, jóvenes. Les recomiendo que aunque va a estar publicado esto en YouTube, cada juez y cada debatiente estén muy pendientes de lo que estén haciendo, no se pongan a ver lo que esté pasando en YouTube, porque en YouTube hay un delay, ¿ok? Entonces, ok, les recomiendo entonces a los equipos que estén muy enfocados en lo que están haciendo en su debate. Yo voy a estar sencillamente, ahora mismo me voy a poner en mi pantalla, la voy a poner ciertamente mute, igual que mi micrófono, porque no tengo nada que hacer en el debate. Solamente mi computadora está sirviendo para hacer la transmisión en vivo de YouTube, ¿ok? Luego del debate, que sepan que igual el video queda en el canal, por si a ustedes les interesa ir a verlo, mostrarlo con algún compañero, ¿ok? Y le va a servir también como soporte para verse a sí mismo y cómo pueden mejorar, ¿ok? Entonces, señores, sin más nada que decir de mi parte, dejo esto en total responsabilidad de los jueces, ¿ok?
Alfredo, if you want to, you can take the lead.
Okay, yes. So, first, we're gonna proceed with the, can you hear me well? Yes, everyone?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So we're gonna proceed with the coin toss. I have a coin in my hand, so who's gonna call it?
Heads.
Heads, okay. Heads. Okay.
So we would like to be con side.
Okay, so that's what school? Sorry?
American school.
So, Conexus, what did you choose?
Second speakers.
Second speakers.
Okay, so just to make sure, we have American School, Con first, we have Conexus, Pros second. Okay. So
Judges ready?
yes.
Opponents ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, before we start, Can you
Yeah.
tell us, American School, who's the first speaker and second speaker?
I'm the first speaker, Jimena Solorzano.
And who's the second?
Amalia Jimenez.
And from American, who's first and second?
That was American.
Yeah.
Correct. Now it's Conexus.
Conexus.
First speaker and Mariana is second speaker on Conexus.
Perfect. So 4 minutes on the clock, you can start.
Wait. So my time starts now. Framework. To win this debate, our opponents should prove that Medicare for all will benefit the economy and is the best system the U.S. could enact. My partner and I firmly negate the resolution which states, resolve the United States federal government should enact the Medicare for All Act of 2019 for the following reasons. Contention 1, economics. Democrats say that the Medicare for All Act is the solution for the U.S. health issues, that this will save middle-class Americans a lot of money, but they're not looking at the bigger picture. The Medicare for All Act isn't for all. It was designed for a particular group of Americans who paid into the system first and collected benefits later. Loading the system with million more Americans who have not paid into the system deforms the model. Bernie Sanders says, no co-pays, no deductibles, no premiums. That's not Medicare. According to the Medicare Interactive Organization, Medicare for All is the idea to expand the federal government health insurance, Medicare, to all the citizens of the United States of America. What Bernie Sanders wants to do is take an idea with a proven track record, strong foundation, and clear goals, and make one size fits it all. What he doesn't say is that taxes will go up to pay for all these largesses. The US won't be able to sustain a system with high costs and low outcomes. We're talking of about $32.6 trillion and $38.8 trillion over the first 10 years of implementation, said Charles Blaher, senior research strategist at the Mercator Center at George Mason University. Medicare for all would mean destroying everything the country has done toward healthcare. This would implicate the 92.1% that already have access to healthcare, the most vulnerable, elders, and the poor, will be jeopardized in a system that is incredibly expensive and we have no idea if it works. Contention 2, unemployment. According to a Utah University, 1.8 million jobs will be destroyed. If the US wipes the insurance industry out, there will be collateral damages. Insurance company stocks are a staple of the mutual funds that make up millions of Americans' retirement savings. Such change will shake the entire healthcare system, which make up a fifth of the United States economy, as hospitals, doctors, nursing homes, and pharmaceutical companies would have to adapt to a new set of rules. Contention 3, longer waiting times. Medicare is not only expensive, but it would also create long waiting times. Medicare for all would force Americans to pay more and wait longer for lower quality healthcare, said Lauren Crawford Schaffer, the executive director of Partnership for America Healthcare Future Organization. 30% of the citizens that have a doctor's appointment wait for 24 days to schedule the first time appointment. In addition, we already have a built insurance system. Destroying it and rebuilding it again as a government system is simply absurd. The part that Sanders gets it wrong is that he would turn Medicare into a single payer system for all, supplanted private insurances. That approach has a lot of problems, not least of which an enormous price tag. Rather than disrupt what we have now, let's build out on the progress of it, said Dr. Patrice Harris, president of the AMA. 90% of the folks have health insurance. It really is about the 10% of the folks who don't. In conclusion, the United States shouldn't enact the Medicare for All Act of 2019 for the following reasons. We're not certain that the Medicare for All Act will work due to the costs and consequences of this one, such as taxation, longer waiting times, unemployment, and high costs. Please note that we're not against healthcare. We're against a system that will cost $32.6 trillion and would end with 1.8 million unemployed. We view that Medicare would not only be bad for the economy, but for the people that will die every day because of long waiting times, enormous price tag, and those are only a few of the many reasons why Medicare for all is not only expensive, but impractical. Thus, we negate the United States should enact the Medicare for All Act of 2019. Thank you.
Okay. So, first speaker of Conexus, you can start.
Thank you. So I guess my judge is ready. Is my opposing team ready?
Yes.
My partner ready?
Yeah.
Perfect. So I'll be starting. Sorry. I'll be starting my case right now. I'm gonna put the timer. Now, imagine avoiding visiting hospital because you are scared of the cost. This can be eliminated by the application of Medicare for All. We have from the resolution resolved, the United States federal government should enact the Medicare for All Act of 2019. We consider the following definitions pertinent to our case. Job lock is defined by the coverage dictionary to mean a situation in which people stay in their job because they don't want to lose things such as health insurance on their pension. Pre-rider problem is defined by the economics help to mean that occurs when people that benefit from a good service without paying anything towards it. The framework for this round should be that for negate to win this, they must prove uninsured population can afford healthcare in the status quo. The reason this is the best framework for this round is because unless it's proven true, Medicare for All would then be the best option for the 44 million uninsured Americans. Contention number one, the status quo promotes job lock. If insurance and unemployment are separate, people will not be afraid for looking for better opportunities. Job lock keeps people from seeking better employment opportunities. According to the Washington Post on a report by Medicare for All, fundamental health reforms like Medicare for All guarantees access to insurance regardless of one's current job status is a key part of making transitions easier. Under the current system in which healthcare benefits are tied to specific jobs, many millions of workers are discouraged from seeking jobs that better match their skills because they don't want to lose their insurance their current job supplies. A national universal care system with level playing field among domestic businesses and eradicate free rider problems. For all the above reasons, economic growth would likely improve, which will yield additional self-perpetuating benefits. A job lock inhibits workers from gravitating to their works most suited to them or pursuing entrepreneurship endeavors. Likewise, it frustrates employers' ability to find higher potential employees. Medicare for All will allow for a more productive job market where employee does not feel constrained to a certain job because of its insurance coverage. Contention number two, Medicare for All saves people from bankruptcy. In the status quo, 2/3 of bankruptcy are related to medical bills. Insured college-educated homeowners fall into medical debt in the status quo. It's not just a problem for unemployed either. The majority of people experience medical bankruptcy for employed college-educated homeowners. More surprising, over 80% had insurance at the time they got sick. Medicare for All would end medical bankruptcy once and for all. Americans would no longer have to pay outrageous amounts or go into debt in order to receive treatments. This was from the citizen.org. So, from CNBC on February 2019 by Lori Cornish, a new study from academic researchers found that 66.5% of all bankruptcies were tied to medical issues. This lets us know that there is a trend of insurance companies that in the US to put earning and sucking money on their clients than giving them proper health care and quality of life. Contention number three, Medicare for All increases preventative care. If people treat problems in the beginning, they may not turn into bigger enclosures and disabling problems. The uninsured are more likely to delay their access to medical services, which causing detrimental consequences. The uninsured are more likely to be forced to delay medical services, affecting timeline of diagnosis and thus the prognosis of disease process. In the study, the time of diagnosis of late-stage cancer was compared between uninsured and privately insured patients. The uninsured patients were 1.7 and 2.6, 1.4, and 1.5 times more likely to be diagnosed late. Preventative care keeps people at work safe from complications. According to Kimberly Amadeo in June 2020, the goal of preventative care is to keep people healthy and safe. So, contention number four, the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, does not work. 45% of adults are now insured, nearly as same as 2010, though important shifts like Obamacare have taken place. Judge, for the stated reasons, we urge approve ballots. Thank you.
Perfect. So, ready, both first speakers? 3 minutes on the clock for crossfire.
Yes. My opponent ready?
Yes.
Okay, so since I'm first speaker, I would ask the first question. You talk about bankruptcy, like that with Medicare, the concept. Okay. So,
Mhm.
but the taxes will go up to pay for all these largesses. We're
To
talking
who?
of
You didn't say who. So to what? To which part of the population?
okay, so to pay for all the expenses of Medicare for
Yes.
all, citizens will have to pay more taxes.
Pay taxes, but who? Like which part of the population? Because you were talking of Bill Gates, he can afford taxes, and yes, he can afford taxes. So I have a question for you. You talked and said on your framework
But you
that this
didn't answer my question.
I
You're
did answer
avoiding
your
my
question.
No.
Okay, ask the question again.
Okay,
What's
so
your question?
44% of the population don't pay taxes, right? So the people that do pay taxes,
I
which
want to see your evidence on that. 44% of the population doesn't pay taxes.
I'll show you in prep time. Okay, so if this percent of people don't pay taxes, do the people that do pay taxes need to pay for the others' healthcare? Do you think that's fair? That they
Well,
would
first of all, you need to clarify if 44% of people don't pay taxes, because that's a big amount,
I'll
and
have my
that is not
evidence. I'll show
fair.
you in prep
If
time.
you can show me your evidence.
I'll show you in prep time.
Okay. So I have a question for you. On your framework, you said this is the best option, but you didn't. That the current system, you did say that the Medicare for all is not the best option. Then which is the best option? The status quo, which
No.
Then which is the best option? You didn't mention any option. We said clear arguments on why Medicare is the best option. So what's the best option?
Medicare is not the best option because it's really expensive. And you
Which
are
is the
talking about
best option? Is it the status quo?
there's another option. There's universal health
Which
care,
option?
public options. There are more options than
why
just
is the best option better than Medicare?
because Medicare is making all the drugs and all the treatments affordable. This would cost
Yes.
the country a lot of money. And
It
you
will not
won't,
cost the country a lot of money.
then how are you
The
pretending to
government
pay for
will
treatments
manage
so
prices. So
expensive?
it won't cost the country a lot of money. The government will manage prices. So
Okay, but
what's your
we're
point? Which is the best option then?
public option, universal health care.
Public option is on universal health care.
Public option or universal health care.
Yes, Medicare for all is universal healthcare system.
No, Medicare for all is different than universal.
Oh, you're talking about a system.
We're not saying that Medicare for all should be enacted.
Okay, I want to see your evidence on why public option is better than Medicare. And of what all you said. So, if you have a question for me, I can answer.
Yes, you were talking about Obamacare.
Yes.
But Obamacare wasn't enacted, so why are you talking about Obamacare right now?
Sorry, that's time, but you can finish answering the question.
Okay, Obamacare is enacted. The Affordable Care Act is enacted. It's happening right now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So, second speaker of American School, are you ready? Or did you need prep time?
I need some prep time.
How
Can I
much?
get, 40 seconds.
40 seconds. Time starts now. That's time.
Okay. Second, 2 seconds. Are the judges ready?
Yes.
Partner,
Yes.
my time starts now. Just let me quickly restate our framework. To win this debate, our opponent should prove that Medicare for All will benefit the economy and is the best system the US could enact. My partner said in our second contention, in our first contention, that removing the whole system of Medicare for All will indeed knock off all of the Medicaid and Medicare that already exists, including all private healthcare, which means that all this time, that it will take a long time of implementation, and it will remove a lot of the important systems that the United States has already disposed. There is only a 10% of the population that is not uninsured. We don't need to rebuild the system completely to be able to do that. Also, Medicare for All Act is not the solution for all of the for all the United States issues, because it isn't for all. It was designed for particular groups of Americans who paid into the system first and collected benefits later. There is a 44% of Americans that do not pay taxes. These people are not getting benefits. These people are the ones that are benefited from the complete system. Our opponent said that people will be seeking more jobs if Medicare for All is enacted. But what if I tell you, people will be actually losing jobs because of the rate of unemployment? According to the Utah University, 1.8 million jobs will be destroyed. And if the United States wipes out the insurance industry completely. Also, Medicare for All is forcing Americans to pay longer. Waiting times are an important point altogether in the Medicare for All Act. It has been proven that the Medicare for All Act will significantly increase waiting times. Also, we are not certain that why should we jeopardize a system that is already on track and working and change the system completely when the only issues are big price tags in the insurance and the fact that some people are uninsured. But we could cover this with simpler and much more accessible systems, such as my partner mentioned earlier, public option and universal healthcare, which actually profit the government and give them some part of this huge amount of money that the government is investing. These are the reasons why I urge you to vote a calm ballot. Thank you.
Okay. So, second speaker of Conexus, are you ready?
Yes, is everyone ready? I will start with their case, then go to mine. My time starts now. Firstly, let me restate the other team's framework. They said that Medicare for All would benefit, that the team that wins will prove that Medicare for All would benefit the economy and is the best system. Let me talk to you about how Medicare for All will help the economy. Medicare for All will help the economy because it will give people mobility. Notice that we said that Medicare for All will decrease job lock and the free rider problem. We didn't talk about people seeking jobs. We talked about people creating jobs because they will go on to start their businesses, to be independent workers. Also, according to Report Linker, freelancers are way more happy than people working in an office cubicle. Actually, 38% of people working in offices do not find a purpose to their jobs, which leads to the free rider problem, which is that they just take a token on others' efforts and don't do efforts. And this means the economy cannot be as productive as it can. Also, they talked about Medicare for All not being the best system. But notice how they said that Medicare, the current Medicare, and Medicaid are implemented. But the current Medicare is only for people over 65 years old and has deductibles and co-payments. And Medicaid gets people stuck in their jobs because they don't want to take a promotion that will cause them to get a higher income and a worse insurance. They're scared of taking a promotion, of advancing economically because of losing their Medicaid. What Medicare for All will do is that it will give insurance to all of these people, to everyone, meaning that it doesn't it doesn't profit a specific group, but it profits everyone. Also, the number of 44% of people who don't pay taxes is very incredible, especially considering that every time you buy a product, you are paying taxes to the government. So it is impossible that 44% of people have not consumed a product in their whole lives. Also, according to the Commonwealth Fund, only 55% of Americans were completely insured for the full year in 2018. They are not taking into account the 44 million people who are underinsured. This means that they are presenting data to you in a biased way. Also, they are speculating that they have no idea if Medicare works. This is speculation because there's data that proves that Medicare works and that we have presented. But you can ignore everything I just said and vote for us on one single reason. They said that universal healthcare is better than the current option. And they said that universal healthcare profits the government. But Medicare for all is universal healthcare. Let me reiterate the definition of universal healthcare. Universal healthcare is healthcare for all people without cost. This is what Medicare does. Medicare for all does. Medicare for all is universal healthcare by definition and by cost, meaning that they have just gave us the reason Medicare for all is better than the status quo set by the con team. So we are going to now continue developing our arguments. We talked about preventative care, and let me touch a little bit more on preventative care. Preventative care is very important. And you know what is also important about preventative care? It avoids people from going into the emergency room when their problem gets worse. This means that it will stop waiting lines in emergency rooms that are in the current status quo system. So that also refutes their argument of waiting more time. Also, we have that 48% of people retired early when they weren't financially ready due to health issues. This was said by Kimberly Amadeo from the Washington Post in 2020. This data is current. They also said that people aren't adhering to we also are saying that people aren't adhering to their medication. This was said by the American Association of Retired Persons in 2019, Dana Bettis. She said that 28% of pre-Medicare adults say that they are adhering to their prescription drugs. This is because the prescription drugs are too expensive for them to afford, and if they are not adhering to their treatments, it means that they are never going to be cured of the sickness they have and will end up in the emergency room again, where they will take attention of people with attention of other people with emergencies, or a problem that is preventable. Also, did I mention that uninsured people, sorry, can I finish my sentence?
That's time. Yes, you can finish.
Okay, uninsured people are scared of going to preventative care, so they get diagnosed later for sicknesses like cancer. And you know that a late diagnosis in cancer is terrible and life-threatening. Thank you.
Thank you. So second speakers, 3 minutes on the clock for Crossfire.
Okay, second speaker from the con team, you can start.
Okay, so I have a question. How would these people, how would these people pay for the system? How will the system be funded?
The system will be funded by taxes, but these taxes are increased to the richer population. This means that those that can afford paying the taxes will be taxed, not the ones who cannot afford it, meaning that please let me finish the sentence. Meaning that the 66.5% of bankruptcies caused by medical related issues will not happen because they will not have that economic burden that they cannot afford.
So you're saying that the people that already have a good private insurance system and that can already afford it are the ones that are going to have to pay for the people that can't afford it, while these people probably don't even pay taxes?
Actually, everybody pays taxes. As I said, product taxes are paid by everyone. And now income taxes are another thing, which is what you might be referring to. And those are two different things and must not be confused. Also, private insurance is a burden, even to people who can afford it. You can talk to any American and ask them about their private insurance, and they will say it's too expensive. They have co-payments, deductibles, and that it is basically unaffordable for most of the population.
Do you have evidence for that?
I have a testimony.
Okay.
And I also have evidence on bankruptcy due to medical co-payment. So I have
Can I get-
evidence and a testimony.
Okay, I don't see how a testimony is specific evidence, but could you show me the testimony on prep time?
I will show you the evidence on prep time because you said that the testimony is not valuable to you.
But I would like to see the testimony as well.
The testimony was spoken. I will show you the evidence.
I would like to see the testimony.
You will see the evidence.
Could I please see the testimony?
The testimony was a spoken testimony and by text. I don't think that's valuable to you. I will show you the
Okay,
evidence.
thank you. It's not valuable to me, so you don't have evidence on that.
I do have evidence from a actual source, and I will show you that evidence in your prep time.
Thank you. Do you really find a need to rebuild? Oh, you want to
It is my turn to ask a question to you. Do you know the difference between universal healthcare and Medicare for all?
Yes, Medicare for all is a one-size-fits-all system that is not gonna cover everything. Well, universal healthcare is a system that actually has a price for several prescription drugs that gives the government some sort of income.
According to the World Health Organization, that is not what universal healthcare is. So I would like to see proof.
Okay, I can show that to you.
Okay, so that's time.
So can I get the evidence for the?
Yes, you will. Can you please give us a second? We're like looking for it in our document just so we can show it to you. Is that okay with you?
Yes, we're also looking for our evidence for universal healthcare.
Okay, perfect.
So do you have the evidence at hand?
Yes, we're just getting ready to project it, if that's okay with you.
Okay.
Okay, so we have the evidence. How do we project it? I have it on another device. Can I show it through camera?
If you don't have it in your computer, then yes, please show it however
Okay.
you.
Okay. So let me turn my camera. This is the evidence.
I'm sorry, but I can't read that. I don't know if that's.
Okay,
I
what
can't-
part did you ask for?
You can pin the video and you can see it bigger if that helps.
Oh,
It's
okay,
visible.
okay. What? How do I pin the video?
No, I pinned the video.
Oh, okay.
The evidence we asked for was, I can barely read that.
But what did you ask for so I can
The evidence I asked for was the
I'm sorry, but
Americans
a
that
message
pay
her partner. That's not the
for
right
private
document.
Mm-hmm.
That they don't, that private insurance does not satisfy them.
Yeah, and there was a message from her partner that it said that that wasn't the right document, so I would like to see the right document.
Should I read it to you?
You can, if you have it online, you can also send the link and tell her
perfect.
what to
Okay.
comment if. That would be quicker, I believe.
But how will you
Yes.
measure the prep time though?
Once you start reading, I'll start running prep.
Perfect.
I'm so sorry for the delay. Let me copy it and send it.
If you want to, I can just copy the link into my computer and share my screen of that. The evidence they
please.
asked for. I will copy the link into my computer now. So here's the article, and I'm going to go straight to where it talks about people getting surprise medical bills and being unhappy about that. Sorry, I don't know why there's sound with the page.
Okay, so I'll start running your prep now.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. We're done. Thank you.
Sorry for the time we lasted.
Okay. So now
We should present our evidence. And I think we have it.
yes, now the summary. So Americans
Yes. Yes.
on the clock.
Okay. Just give me 1 second, please. Just 1 second, please. Okay. So my time starts now. First of all, I would like to restate my framework. To win this debate, our opponents should prove that Medicare for All would benefit the economy and is the best system the US could enact, which they had not fully proven. Now, I would like to remind you of my contentions. My first contention is that Medicare for All has an enormous price tag of $32.6 trillion and $38.8 trillion just during the first 10 years of implementation. Also, 92.1% of Americans already have access to healthcare, and we will jeopardize their health just for the rest people that don't. My contention too is that Medicare for All would create unemployment. We're talking of 1.8 million unemployed because of the closing on health insurance companies. As my third contention, Medicare for All would create longer waiting times. We're stating that 30% of Americans wait for 24 days for the first time appointment. Now, I would like to say, how would taxes go up? Taxes would increase by $22 trillion and will require a 20% tax increase to implement. Besides, as we mentioned before, 44% of Americans don't pay taxes. So the rest that do pay taxes would have to pay for these people to get the health care. They're also talking about universal health care, and we're saying that the difference between universal healthcare and Medicare for All is that universal healthcare does not give all the drugs and prescriptions for free. This helps the government, as my partner mentioned before, to produce income for the country's economy. We would also want to state that we don't have to rebuild a system because there's only a small amount of people that don't have health insurance. We're saying 10% don't have health insurance, according to Dr. Patrice Harris, president of the AMA. So why should we rebuild a system that already attends 90% of the citizens of the United States just for the 10% that don't have health insurance? We're also saying that we're not against healthcare. We know that healthcare is a right. However, we're saying that Medicare is really expensive and does not cover all the needs from the American people. That's why, judges, we're telling you to consider all of our contentions, our framework, and all the evidence that we have presented so that you vote for the team that has proven that Medicare for All does not work, which is the Con team. Thank you.
Okay. So, Conexus first speaker. Are you ready?
Yes, but first of all, I want to ask for the evidence on why the public option is better than Medicare for All, and on what. Well, it's the same basically, but how is Medicare for All and universal healthcare different from their basis?
No, basically what we want to know is how is universal care different from Medicare for All, and how is a public option better?
Okay, I'll show you right now.
Perfect.
Let me just go to it. Here is all of the, wait, I'm sorry. All of this, you can read it. That's saying how it will be financed and how it's different, because the financial way they are financed is different than Medicare for All.
The public option or the current system?
This is universal health care we're talking about.
Okay. Okay, so you are missing to show me the public option evidence, but let me read this first. Okay, thank you. Where's your evidence on public option, please?
Yeah, let me look it right now.
Thank you.
Oh my God. I have the other.
I'm sorry, what is you're asking the evidence for?
I'm asking on what you said on the crossfire, that you talked about the best option, and you said the public option, the universal healthcare.
Oh, okay, so you want, okay.
Yeah.
Evidence here, but for some reason the New York Times is not letting me open it.
Here I have it. Let me just.
Okay. Why does it say should? Well, okay, thank you for your evidence.
Okay, so Conexus, you have 1 minute and 55 seconds of prep time left. American School, you have 2 minutes and 5 seconds of prep time left.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. So I will be taking the 55 seconds. I'll be running my time.
Time starts now.
Okay,
That's-
so yes, thank you. So is my opposing team ready?
Yes.
Is my yes. Is my partner ready?
Yes.
Are my judges ready? Perfect. So my time will be starting. Oh, let me put the time. 3 minutes, right? Yeah, 3 minutes. Okay. So my time will be starting now. Oh, wait, no. First of all, I'll be talking on our case and then on their case. So my time will be starting now. First of all, our framework still stands, which was, and I quote, the framework for this round should be that for negative to win, they must prove the uninsured population can afford healthcare in the status quo. They did not complete nor arguments about this. They didn't even touch this, our framework. So following this, we presented 4 very strong arguments, which were the status quo promotes job lock, Medicare for all will reduce bankruptcy, and the Affordable Care Act of Obamacare does not work. And 27.5 million Americans are not insured at any point during the Obamacare Act. So let's proceed with this. Judge, given percentages, reports, and data, we believe our arguments are clear and still stand. It is important to restate why these matter. First of all, on the status quo promotes job lock, Medicare for all will allow for a more productive job market, where the employee does not feel constrained to a certain job because of its insurance coverage. On our second intention, which was Medicare for all will reduce bankruptcy, this lets us know that there is a trend of insurance companies in the United States to put in earning and stocking money of their clients than giving them proper health care and quality of life. And Obamacare does not help reduce uninsured populations in America. 44 million Americans, which means that are uninsured, which means that a system like Medicare for all is needed to make sure that everyone is insured. We want to talk on their case now. First of all, we completed the framework, which they said we have not completed completely, but we sure have. We completed them completely. They talked about economics and we did that. So we also talked about our contention. Now, on the rebuttal, they tried to refute our arguments, but failed. And then they proceeded to talk about their arguments. Now let's weigh our contentions against theirs. Our contentions are still clear. They still stand. As I said, they did not refute our contentions. And we refuted all their contentions on our rebuttal. On both cross, the opposing team speculated, even contradicting themselves. They said that the United States needs a public option or a universal healthcare system, which a universal healthcare system is Medicare. Medicare is a universal healthcare system. And this contradiction just lets us know that the opposing team agrees with us that Medicare for all should be implemented in the United States, should be enacted. So let's talk now about what my opposing team said on their summary. They said that they shouldn't reveal, the United States shouldn't reveal their system, and that only 10% of the population is affected. Well, this is very important. And actually, 44 million Americans are uninsured. So 44 million Americans are affected. Now, on the evidence of public option, it was not clear. And yeah, the evidence was not clear. Now, Judge, I know my time is over. For the reasons I just stated, I really hope that you vote pro to the resolution. Thank you.
Okay, so ready for crossfire, 3 minutes on the clock.
Okay, so.
Perfect. So you guys stand for universal healthcare, but your own source said that universal healthcare will force people to pay taxes to subsidize the others. So are you contradicting yourselves here, or what do you mean by
No, we're not contradicting ourselves. What we're trying to say is that that we need some sort of income coming from the people who need it. Not everyone in the lower classes necessarily needs healthcare. Neither do the people in higher classes.
Everyone needs Medicare. Medicare is a...
No, everyone needs health care, and we're saying that we're not against health care. What we're saying is that we're against Medicare for all.
Okay, what's your question now? Well, do you have a question?
Yes, we do. When you showed us the evidence on that not all Americans are satisfied. We asked for the evidence of the fact that none of what you said in our rebuttal, that none
Yes,
of
and we showed it to you. Now I have a
No.
question for you. You said
No.
a small part.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, we're not done.
Okay, what's your question then? Because you're argumenting a lot. What's your question?
that was not what your evidence said.
That is what our evidence said. Our evidence
That's
said
what-
they're
that's what the
surprised
evidence said.
by payments that they were not supposed to have, that they
Yes,
are
but we were
unsatisfied.
talking
So,
we were
but that's
Yes,
evidence,
but-
and it did say that.
Payments you're not supposed to have
You're
are
just
no
arguing.
payments.
I'm sorry, but we're not done asking the question. Could you let us finish?
What's the question? You're argumenting. The time is running. I want to ask a question.
You're
So-
argumenting.
Go ahead, ask your question.
Okay, you said that a small part and 10% of the population is underinsured, and that's why we shouldn't change the current system, the status quo. Why is that? And actually, 44 million are underinsured. So it's not 10%. Why is that? Why shouldn't we change the status quo if 44 million Americans are uninsured?
Yes, but that is only 10% compared to the 90% that we are. That
We're
are
talking
not
about 44
10%.
million
all
Americans.
these people. We are
We're talking about 44 million Americans.
of
I
America.
have a question for you. Is 44 million 10% of the population?
We have evidence of what we're saying. Do you?
Yes, we do.
We do. But you're not answering our
We're
question.
asking if
How is
44 million is
Americans
10%
not
of the
amount?
population.
I think so. Yes.
The population of America is around 350 million people, so 10% would be around 35 million.
But that's
35,000
beside
people.
the point.
Not
Can you answer a
We're
question?
understanding what we're saying from very just.
Can you answer a question on we shouldn't change the system because 44 million Americans are uninsured? Why is that?
Because there is already a system that has been built and that is
Working.
there are.
But it's
other-
not working, and we presented that evidence and talked about the Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act. We talked also
Obamacare-
about
But we're
Medicare,
already
and Medicaid.
administrative.
That is not the only system that has been implemented in the
We
U.S.
talked about Medicare and
It's not
Medicaid in our rebuttal speech too.
Sorry, that's time.
Thank you.
So would they like to see our evidence on the 44 million people?
Would you like to see our evidence on the 10%?
Oh, we're going to ask for that evidence before
We should.
our final focus.
Okay, perfect. Then, yes, please, we would like to see the evidence of.
Okay, perfect. Okay, wait, I'm going to share my screen. And here you go, the Commonwealth Fund 2019. Current data. Research was from 2018. And here we have it. Only 55% of Americans were completely insured. And we're talking about this big percentage of people that were all of the year underinsured, 23%, which is 44 million. And the only, like the 10% you're talking about is from the uninsured people. That is why we're talking about you like mixing up the data. If you can see it there, if you want to see the data under the chart too, like the written data under the chart, we can show that to you too.
Thank you. That's okay.
Perfect.
Okay. So, American, you have 1 minute and 37 seconds left. Do you want to run it all? Yes. Okay. Time starts now. Okay, so that's time.
Okay. So it's 2 minutes for the final focus, right?
Yes.
And my time starts now. Judges, please let me restate my framework. To win this debate, our opponents should prove that Medicare for All will benefit the economy and is the best system the US could enact, which they have not proven. All of our arguments still stand. Our three contentions about it. The first one being the one about economics, where we say that the United States should not have to rebuild a system that is already working. They have yet to manage to refute that argument. Our second contention, the unemployed, which they also haven't touched yet, and try to refute with the fact that it will increase the small businesses. I think that was, but what is a small business worth if you have so much unemployment and so much people staying without a job if Medicare for All is enacted? Then, for our third contention, which also still stands, we have that there will be longer waiting times. They are yet to refute this argument. They have not touched this in the whole debate. Also, we have also proved many times that universal healthcare and Medicare for All are very different services. And we have stated several times why this is and showed evidence from very trusted sources. All of our arguments are still standing, and our opponents have yet to manage to refute all of our arguments. This is, judges, why I will urge you to vote a con ballot. Thank you.
Okay. So, Conexus, you have 1 minute left. Do you need it?
No, we don't. I will go. Is everyone ready? Firstly,
Yes.
I will go
Yes.
our case, their case, and my time starts now. Let me restate our framework. For Con to win, they must prove that the underinsured population can afford healthcare. This was not touched or discussed, and they even have a data problem where they don't take account in the underinsured people. Also, we talked about how Medicare for All helps people. Like, we talked about how Medicare for All helps people afford healthcare. It helps people, and we have provided evidence of that. We have also provided evidence that shows against their arguments and their framework. Their framework says Medicare for All would benefit the economy and is the best system. Well, for their contention one, which was economics, we have said that we have showed evidence that said that people are, like, under the current system, they cannot leave their jobs because of insurance. We proved that there would be more job mobility with Medicare for All, and this means that small businesses will create jobs, something that our opponents fail to acknowledge. We also said that, according to their first contention also, they said that people will be taxed, but we said that this tax increment is to people that can afford it. And they later proved that universal healthcare also charges taxes to people that can afford it, also proving that universal healthcare is Medicare for All. In the source they chose, which was the World Health Organization, which was the one that I cited, it said, and I quote, sharing resources and universal healthcare has, like, puts taxes on the people who can afford it so that other people can receive it. So Medicare for All is universal healthcare. That is the basis of Medicare for All, and it's shocking that the con team cannot fathom that. We also touched all of their arguments, including the argument that waiting times are longer. Why? Because people in the current system go to the ER, but in the ER, they crowd in the ER. This means that waiting times are larger in the place where they most matter, the emergency rooms. And can I finish my sentence?
Yes.
This is why you should affirm the resolution and vote pro for the people and for the economy. Thank you.
Okay, great debate. So Uh, Judges, please submit your ballots through chat room.
Great debate, everyone.
Yes, same.
Thank you. Great debate.
Okay. So, okay. So the ballots of the judges are in favor 3-0 for the pro side. Great debate.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You did
You guys
great.
did great.
Great debates.
Great debate.
So,
Can we leave or do we stay?
Here,
Okay.
feedback or do you need it?
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so Reinaldo, tenemos tiempo.
Está muta.
Buenas. ¿Ya ustedes tomaron la decisión, informaron a los estudiantes? Ok. Bueno, antes de retirarnos de esta final, quiero felicitar a ambos equipos, de tanto del American como del Conexus, porque es esta experiencia que ustedes vivieron durante este torneo, son pocos estudiantes en este país que lo han vivido. Es decir, debatir ya de por sí es una actividad bien exigente y hacerlo ahora a través de una plataforma online, pues le agrega reto. Ustedes ciertamente han tenido esa valentía y esa actitud de superar los miedos típicos de lo que es lo nuevo, ¿no? Los felicito a ambos. Lo que vamos a hacer es que en esta semana estaremos haciendo llegar la premiación de ustedes tanto al equipo del American a su colegio como al equipo de Conexus a su colegio. Y entonces cada uno de los equipos lo irá a buscar a su propio colegio, ¿ok? Entonces, de nuevo, felicitaciones a ambos equipos y que los esperamos entonces en el próximo torneo, ya sabiendo que ya ustedes son entonces equipos que han dado, que están en la delantera en comparación con otros colegios, ¿ok? Que pasen buen fin de semana.
Reinaldo, perdón.
Gracias.
Te queríamos preguntar si tenemos tiempo para decirle a ellos personalmente el reason for decision.
Pueden, sí, cada uno de los jueces, si quieren, pueden compartir. Tenemos todavía, nos quedan 4 minutos de este debate. Pueden compartir entonces la razón por la cual dieron su votación.
Okay. Entonces, I wanted to start first, just to clarify something for the con side. It is very important that you choose and that you think what words you're going to use when you're referring to healthcare. Because when you refer to a universal healthcare system, that is another word for Medicare for all. And that's what the pro side was actually arguing. So when you try to state that some things inside the universal healthcare system are going to work or are going to be funded this way, you're actually agreeing with what the pro side is actually saying. And so I know maybe you were confused about the word healthcare or Medicare. So what you need to think here is that universal means to everyone. So that's why it's the same as practically the same as Medicare for all. Also, so I also want to say that I liked in the rebuttal from the pro side, where you stated that people are going to be stuck in their jobs because they are afraid to get a promotion because that would leave them without the Medicare they need. So that was very good. And also remember that for the summaries, please also use them to state again your contentions and to also refute what was said in the rebuttals.
Okay.
Elizabeth, do you want to go now?
Sure. I agree with Alfredo, and my decision was based on that. When I was reading your evidence, clearly prove what Mariana stated, that taxes will apply to those who can pay it. So that immediately made my decision. I made up my mind right away. You all did great, and like Alfredo said, you need to make sure that you're using your words correctly and that you know all of your definitions so you can apply it into the debate.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to be as make it as short as possible. So first of all, I believe the first mistake that was made by the con team was during rebuttal. Whereas, regardless of you attempting to refute the opposing team's argument, you did let most of them like cross right ahead. So letting them extend during summary, you did not block uh, any of them. You just further on extended your case, which was it's a move that you can make. However, you do need to remember that your priority should be blocking the opposing team's argument, because if not, it would allow them to extend and further on extend those impacts as voting issues. Then another point I wanted to make is that you did exceed with the pro team several times. For example, we did get to the point, as Alfredo said, where MFA, where universal healthcare was a positive thing. Therefore, you did exceed to MFA being a positive thing as well. And another point I felt that was really important in the debate was the funding. And I did feel that we were on very messy waters during the whole round, because I feel that we did not get to a point where I could use funding as a voting issue, whereas you were saying that people would be taxed, but then they wouldn't, but only 44% of people are not taxed, and then the opposing team say they're taxed, and then you presented an evidence that literally said that universal healthcare is funded through taxes. So there was a lot of contradiction that did not help your case. And finally, when we're talking on magnitude, the pro team, of course, won because you guys did present some impact. However, you did present some strong arguments. However, the impacts were not there. For example, you tell me that 30% of the American population were gonna be experiencing 24 days to get an appointment. However, what does that translate to? I need something like you need to give me something. The opposing team is giving me 44 million people that are underinsured. They're giving me 23% of uninsured. So clearly the magnitude on the pro side was clear, whereas on the con, it was, I know it was there. However, I cannot make my judgment on that. You guys have to give it to me. So overall, it was a debate based on magnitude and in the end in probability as well, I believe, because I feel that there was not enough evidence for the claims that were proposed. And finally, on the job log and on the job argument, It was job luck versus people losing their job. And I do feel again that the impacts presented on the pro side did outweigh the impacts on the con side. That's about it. But overall, it was a good round, and I want to congratulate all of you.
Ok, de nuevo, y quiero aprovechar para agradecer entonces a los 3 jueces, a Elizabeth, a Cristina y a Alfredo por su excelente trabajo, y a los competidores que han hecho un gran trabajo y que sigan adelante. Que pasen buen fin de semana.
Gracias. Bye.
Gracias, igual.
Igualmente.